For a long time, the Spice Girls were the girl band, the princesses of pop. As a result, the media focused with uncanny scrutiny on their love lives. Today we have the full dating history of the band, from scandalous relationships, an affair between two of the girls, and the loves of their lives. Here are all the guys the Spice Girls have dated. Melanie Brown. Poor Melanie Brown, aka Scary Spice, has had an entire romance series worth turbulent relationships. When the group embarked on the famous Spice World Tour around in March 1998, Mel started dating Spice Girls backing dancer, Dutch-born Jimmy Gulzar. Before they knew what was happening, Mel B became pregnant. In September 1998, the two madly in love couple tied the knot in Little Marlow, Buckinghamshire. 5 months later, their daughter Phoenix G was born. Gulzar turned out to be one of the worst romances as the two engaged in a brutal custody battle over Phoenix, with Mel ending up paying over £1.2 million settlement to her former husband. He was later prosecuted for attacking Mel's sister and locking Phoenix in his apartment. She moved on to actor Max Beasley in another explosive relationship that nearly wrecked Beasley's career. They were together for 3 years. The timeline here brings us to who Mel later called the great love of her life, Eddie Murphy. But before she met him, from 2002 to 2006, Mel was in a relationship with film producer Christine Krakos. A mutual friend introduced Murphy to Mel, and it was love at first sight. An epic romance for the ages, Murphy ventured out and asked for Mel's father's blessing to marry her. In July 2006, Mel became pregnant with their child. Unfortunately, the relationship came to a messy end just a few months later in December. Murphy questioned who the real father was. It turned out to be him after all. In 2007, Mel gave birth to their daughter, Angel Iris, in April 2007. If Eddie Murphy was the great love of Mel's life, then what about her next husband, who she stayed married to for 10 years? Meet the film producer Stefan Belafonte. Things with Belafonte were a little different. The two had already been friends for a long time. Rumor has it that they were already entangled by the time Angel Iris was born. Friendship turned to love, and a secret marriage was born. Mel and Belafonte married in secret on the 6th of June 2007. However, they later renewed their vows in an extravagant ceremony in Hurghada, Egypt in November 2008. On the 1st of September 2011, Madison Brown Belafonte, Mel's third child, was born. After separating in December 2016, Brown filed for divorce from Belafonte in March 2017, citing emotional and physical abuse. You would think with all those bad experiences with romance, Brown would be put off from finding love, but she says she firmly believes in love. Emma Bunton. Emma Bunton, aka Baby Spice, has had a little less eventful love life, but one that's no less exciting. Spoiler alert, it involves both Leonardo DiCaprio and Justin Timberlake. In 1997, Baby Spice went out with British singer Lee Brennan. A few months later, was linked to American actor Leonardo DiCaprio. The next year, she met the man who would become the father to her children, but only after a few bumps in the road. Emma met boy band singer Jay Jones and started dating him in 1998. Their relationship was on and off. At the time, Jade was only 19 years old and Emma 21. During their many relationship hiatuses, Emma went on to date Rio Ferdinand from September 1999 to September 2000. Bunton and Jones briefly got back together before breaking up, leading Bunton to fall into Justin Timberlake's arms in 2003. In 2004, Bunton and Jones decided they were it for each other and got back together permanently. Although he had proposed before, it wasn't until January 2011 that they announced their engagement. They have 2 children together, Bo, who's 13, and Tate, who's 11. Melanie Chisholm. Melanie Chisholm, aka Sporty Spice, has had her fair share of whirlwind romances, several of them being so high profile that every teenage girl wished she was Mel C. 1997 marked the start of a month-long casual fling with famous singer Robbie Williams. Just a phase, if you could call it that. In 1998, she briefly dated record producer Jake Davies. In September of that same year, Mel C embarked on a high-profile relationship with Red Hot Chili Peppers lead singer Anthony Kiedis. They met when Anthony scored tickets to a Fab Four gig. According to a close source to them, when they went out, it was as if they had known each other for ages. Kiedis was so enamored with Mel C that he was inspired to write the song Emmett Ramis. In 2000, the next man in the picture was Jason J. Brown from the boy band Five. Truth be told, they didn't have the best of starts. Mel had only approached him at a Brit after-party to confront him about calling her ugly. Believe it or not, they went from being at each other's throats to moving in together. They broke up after he told a magazine that he didn't love her. Next up, property developer Thomas Starr, who ran into Mel in Barbados while on holiday in 2002. They dated for a whopping 10 years. In February 2009, they welcomed a daughter, Scarlett. But in 2012, they broke things off. Now you'll find Mel C in a relationship with Joe Marshall. They started dating in December 2015. Later, Mel made him her manager, once gushing about how much she has her back. Geri Halliwell. Geri Halliwell, aka Ginger Spice, is a strong contender for having the most exciting love life out of the best-selling group, if only for the abundance of millionaires, rock stars, and actors acting as her exes. Perhaps one of her most newsworthy romances is the one with fellow Spice Girl Mel B. For so long, Spice Girls fans speculated about a potential fling between the two, but it wasn't until 2018 that Mel B confirmed the fling, saying that it was just a fun thing. But let's talk about her more non-secret relationships, starting off with a very brief thing with polo player Jamie Morrison. They had little in common, and Ginger quickly moved on to TV presenter Chris Evans. Although it's speculated that it was merely a very high-profile publicity stunt, they lasted for a few months in 1999. Next is Robbie Williams. Rumors of a romance started when Geri was photographed leaving his home at 1 a.m. When Geri presented Williams with a Brit Award in 2001, she memorably said, "According to press reports, he has given me one, so now it's my turn to give him one." Williams himself didn't help those rumors. Years later, he fueled them by saying he hooked up with 4 out of 5 Spice Girls. It's understandable why the next two relationships were a little more low-key. In 2001, she had a 3-month romance with the business tycoon Bobby Hashemi. It ended because Bobby didn't want to commit to her and was horrified when she asked him to move in together. In 2002, she went out with Damian Warner, who she met at a rehab clinic for her eating disorder. He was being treated for drug abuse. They actually became engaged, but irreconcilable differences broke them off and sent Geri back to boyfriends of the more famous variety. She had some fun with US rock star Fred Durst, once saying they were the new Fred and Ginger. In 2003, she dated US actor Jerry O'Connell. A brief 2004 fling had her growing closer to blues singer Duncan James, followed by Lee Ryan. She was obviously a big fan of Blue. Pop star Darius Dinesh stole her heart for some time. After him came the man who would become the father of her daughter. In 2005, Geri dated screenwriter Sasha Gervasi. In May 2006, she welcomed daughter Bluebell Madonna and named Emma Bunton and Victoria Beckham as her godmothers. After separating from Gervasi, 2 notches on Halliwell's list include David Walliams and backing dancer Eva Flips Velez. In 2008, Ginger Spice made headlines for announcing her engagement to Italian shipping tycoon Fabrizio Politi. Why was the world so shocked? Only because they became engaged just 1 week after meeting in a nightclub in Florence. Of course, the engagement, the 150,000-pound ring aside, didn't last long. Politi has no regrets, calling them the happiest 3 months of my life. Then she was in on and off relationship from 2009 until 2011 with Henry Beckwith, socialite and heir to the property fortune made by his father, Sir John Beckwith. Geri decided that she could not trust him because of his relationships with other women. They called it a day on October 2011. The feisty singer then tried her hand at taming Russell Brand in 2012. The yoga-loving pair reportedly dated for a few months after meeting at the Olympics 2012 closing ceremony. But things didn't work out. She also had a fling for a couple of months in 2012 with Sir David Frost's son, Wilfred. Their age difference was an issue. Geri is currently living her happily ever after with the man who made her forget her past, Christian Horner, the team principal of the Red Bull Racing Formula One team. They started dating in February 2014 and announced their engagement in November of the same year. On May 15, 2015, they gathered at St. Mary's Church in Woburn, Bedfordshire to exchange vows. Now they share a son, Montague George Hector Horner, born in January 2017. Victoria Beckham. Victoria Beckham, aka Posh Spice, is the last Spice Girl we have today. At the peak of Spice Mania, Victoria Adams met Manchester United footballer David Beckham. In January 1998, they announced their engagement. Prior to that, she had a brief thing with Canadian actor Corey Haim in 1995. David Beckham wasn't the first time she came close to tying the knot. Posh Spice was once engaged to Mark Wood, who she met when she was 14. She broke things off when the Spice Girls were kicking off. A charity football match in 1997 introduced her to Beckham. Rumor has it that the footballer had long harbored a crush on Posh Spice, even saying that he would have liked her even if she was working in Tesco. However, their first meeting was lackluster, as Victoria later said, "I didn't really know who he was. I was never that into football." Beckham did win her over, and they became known as Posh and Becks. They welcomed their son Brooklyn 4 months before they got married on the 4th of July 1999 at Luttrellstown Castle in Ireland. Brooklyn was the ring bearer. The wedding ceremony reportedly cost a whopping $823,650. Since then, they've welcomed 3 more children: Romeo, Cruz, and Harper. And these are all the guys the Spice Girls have dated. What did you think? Which one was your favorite romance and which shocked you the most? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to our channel, Celeb Space, and turn on notifications.